Daddy Chell.
Hi-oh! Dweeners and Franks and Beans. It's time to get a new phone. Welcome to the good life.
Welcome to the good life.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Burn Down podcast. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about some events going on in the world that's really chapping our ass.
Dude, there's some shit going
You know what
down.
really chaps my ass? Our president being on vacation 37% of his time. That's what really chaps my ass.
Did you see that? Did you see that freaking story?
I want to read the article, but yeah, I saw the little clip about it. But you know, we like Patrick Bet David. Shout out to Valuetainment, and we like a lot of the news articles that they post because it brings up good conversation, whether you're on this side or that side. But it's good to have open dialogue and open conversation, and we're trying to get into that. And our whole thing is we don't talk about anything negative or anything politics based, but we're allowed to have free mind, free thinking. Opinions.
We're not gonna be on the ones like we're not gonna put you down, right? We're not gonna put anybody down and stuff. But there's some things that we need to talk about, right? You know, President Biden spending 37% of his time on vacation. 37% is a lot, man. And again,
a third.
And I'm just going off of the article that's posted on Valuetainment. I trust Valuetainment.
Well, no, even if you Google it, it's all over. You got themessenger.com, the New York Post, Valuetainment. You got...
I'm not... This is not just like blurting out some random person on X that said... I have to be careful because I always want to say Twitter, but it's not Twitter anymore. It's X.
I still call it Twitter.
Right? So some random person that... All right, here's a question. Is it a tweet still?
What do they call it?
It was Twitter, and then you tweeted on Twitter.
Yeah, but now what
do you do on X? Are you Xing on X?
You exit.
All right. But anyway, it's not some random person. This is an article that came out. And to put it in perspective, 37%. Okay?
We'll even go by the New York Post, right?
Let's look it up. 365 days times 0.37 is 135 days. Okay? That's 4.5 months.
So let's see here.
4.5 months.
I don't want to. That's ridiculous.
That's long. 4.5 months. That's
life is good,
dude. It's longer than like a
Joey B.
It's longer than a teacher. Teacher goes 9 months and they have 3 months off. 4.5 months.
Listen, my grandfather I think is 86. Joe Biden's 5 years younger than him. My grandfather is an old man. He's an old man. He doesn't. He comes over to my mom's house and we goes to relatives. That's about it.
What's the average American get vacation time? 2 weeks?
Yeah.
4 weeks? 6 if you're lucky?
So let's see. The New York Post. Yeah, so President Biden spent more than 1/3 of the past year at a getaway spot, either one of his Delaware residence, a posh vacation site, or Camp David, according to the Post review of public records. The 81-year-old...
Okay, so this is public record, public knowledge.
So it's not like some Joe Schmo making it up.
So somebody pulled all the information, okay?
Well, yeah, the government is to serve the people, so everything's supposed to be documented for the people to be, so people can see it public.
Sounds like he was getting served 4.5 months out of the year.
So
served some nice turkey dinner on a silver platter.
Commander-in-Chief was away at one of the relaxing locations or famous. Yeah, he spent 22 days, including traveling. Yeah.
When did this come? This was published. This was a day ago. This was yesterday.
New York Post came out 3 days ago. So
it's crazy. And then it says, to put things into perspective, Biden's vacationing record outranks all recent presidents. The runner-up is George H.W. Bush, who spent 36% of his presidency away from work, according to the previous review. And Donald Trump spent a total of 26% of his time in the White House on vacation.
So, hold on. Trump?
Oh, no. Okay, so this is... It depends on how you read this. Donald Trump spent total of 26% of his time in the White House on vacation. So you can kind of read that as 26% of his time in the White House on vacation, or 26% of his time in the White House on vacation.
So he,
you get what I'm saying?
No, I'm so mindfucked right now.
Okay, so it's kind of like how you can tweak the way that things are said. Like if you do a peer review and it's 100 people and 51 of them say yes and 49 say no,
yeah, majority.
You could say majority said yes, right? Or you say 51% said yes, right? So this one, if you read it as Donald Trump spent 26% of his time in the White House on vacation, that means he spent 26% of his time on vacation. Or you can read it as Donald Trump spent a total of 26% of his time in the White House on vacation. So of his vacation time in the White House.
That's how I understood it.
You know what I'm saying? But it could be. I'm assuming that they're saying no. It's of the time that he was in the White House, he spent 26% on vacation.
But
that's what I'm assuming. So that's about a quarter of the time. It's still a lot. It's still a lot.
But I feel like a quarter is a little more manageable. A little George Bushy over there, 36%. That's a little. That's another crazy.
Quarter is what, 3 months? It's still a lot. It's 3 months. Yeah. That's like your average teacher. That's your average teacher. 9 months on the job, 3 months for summer.
But you know what? Being the president is a stressful ass job, so it makes sense why Joey B, Sleepy Joe, has the most, because not for nothing, he's the oldest president in history, right? He's a legit old man. Like, there's 80-year-olds in retirement senior citizen homes, so he probably requires some extra rest time. So, hence why we need a different president.
That's just a lot, man. Like even Trump at 26% is like.
It is a lot.
But granted, you're right. You deserve your vacation too. But it's like, how much is too much?
So that's only account for a year, right? So
it's 26% of
the year.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's a year or 4 years. It's still 26%. Which means, like, think about this: if you spend 37% of your time on vacation out of the 4 years, so you spent.
137 times 4.
So 365 times 4 years for 4 years of your term, times the 0.37 is 540 days. Damn. Divided by 365 means you spent about a year and a half on vacation. So you serve 4 years, and a year and a half of it, you're not doing anything. You're not doing shit.
That's nuts.
Is that fucking crazy, dude?
That's nuts.
Even go to the 25% of Trump. 4 years of term. 1 year. Yeah. That's crazy.
Shit, man. Obviously we don't know what it's like to be president of the United States, but what's the average?
It's more than I would assume.
What is the average amount of time a president spends on vacation throughout the year? This is a good thing, because we're like, 137 days on 37%. All right, so keep that in mind, right? So Biden. Average days on vacation, 147. Donald Trump, 92. Barack Obama, 41. George Bush, 127. Now,
this is average days on vacation per year.
So this is United States president vacation. I googled what is the average amount of time a president spends on vacation. So that's the average days of the year, of a year.
Okay.
So Joe Biden averages 147. Trump averages 92. Barack Obama averaged 41, and Bush 127. But then also, another Google question, how many days of vacation does a president get? It says, as a former First Lady, Nancy Reagan once said, presidents don't get vacation, they just get a change of scenery. So, if you think about it as well, how many hours do presidents work? So they can work anywhere between 8 to 18 hours, 7 days a week. It's a 24/7 job.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good point.
So, yeah, it's 37%, but technically you're working all day, every day.
Yeah.
So
are you really on vacation?
Yeah, like Nancy Reagan said, it's just a change of scenery. So maybe it's not all cooped up as it sounds, but think about it. If you work 365 days a year, every day, how do you figure that out? So, what would you do? 24 hours times 365. That's the amount of hours you work throughout a year.
Yeah, it's what, 5,280 or something like that?
Engineer Junior. Perfect.
Is that what it is?
I don't know. You're the engineer. You're the one that gets
365 times 24. 8760. No, I was just thinking 5,200. Wasn't that the
5,025?
Yes. It's 5,280 feet in a mile, but I just blurted it out because I was like, that sounds like a good number.
So how many hours in a year?
365 days times 24 hours is 8,760.
Okay. So you're working that a year, right? So what does the average person work a year? So you work 40 hours a week. There's 52 weeks, right?
Yeah, it's 2,000 hours because the average person gets 2 weeks vacation.
Okay.
So 2,000 hours opposed to 8,000
So the president works 4 times, technically, as much as an average job.
So you want to hear something crazy? So let's say the president, because you can't possibly work 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
You can't. If you sleep 8 hours and you're working every other day, every other hour, every other single waking moment you're working, that's 18 hours. That's 16 hours a day times 365 days a year is 5,840 hours that you're working. Okay.
Call it 6,000 hours. Okay.
Now, what does a president make? Like, how much money does a president make? It's like, what, $200,000 a year?
Let's see.
It's not a lot for running a country.
How much does a yearly salary? Oh, I just said that wrong, but
President's annual salary. What is it?
President's annual salary. Okay, here we go.
What is it? $250?
How much is okay? So this is President Biden. So reported 2022 federal adjustment gross income of $579,514 and paid $138,000 in federal income tax.
What do they just like? What is just that's what president? That's what he made, $500,000.
Yeah,
I thought it was less than that. I didn't know a president made much.
Okay.
I know Trump only took $1.
Yeah.
Because you had to take something. But what is it like? What is the average?
It doesn't actually have a direct answer of what the average.
Okay, let's see. Annual salary of
Biden draws a $400,000 wage as president of the United States. That was April 20.
Yeah, here you go. It says the president shall receive in full for his services during the term for which he shall have been elected compensation the aggregate amount of $400,000 a year to be paid monthly, and in addition an expense allowance of $50,000 to assist. So $400,000 a year. That is literally from the uscode.house.gov. $400K. Okay. She's working 5,840 hours. So 400,000 divided by 5,840 hours. He's only getting $68 an hour.
Damn, son.
Like, when you break it down like that, it sucks. Like, why would you want to be president?
Well, you always see those presidents, like Obama's picture, right? When he first started as president, till by the time he left, his face was completely different.
And then Trump did it for free.
Yeah, I know, which is wild.
Right? So, like, you're not doing it for the money, which is brings up another interesting point. Like, have you ever looked at all the different, the presidents from what their net worth was prior to going into office versus leaving office?
Okay.
And their net worth is, like...
exponential, probably.
Exponential?
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you go from net worth of, like, $1.2 million, you're making $400,000 a year, and then you go net worth $100 million? How does that work?
Well, I can tell you one person, Nancy Pelosi, is a very good trader of stocks. She makes a lot of money doing trading of stocks.
But it's interesting how that happens a lot. And like, actually, I think that Trump was the only one that didn't. That actually lost net worth. He was a billionaire when he entered, and then he lost. But he also didn't take any salary. He basically did it for free.
I wonder where that money went.
Which that's another good point. Like, if you have a compensation,
so it's $400,000 a year. So what's that? $1.2 million? Oh no,
1.6.
$1.6 million for the term. And then it's 3.2 for 8 years.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, so you only get $1.6 million for your term, for a 4-year term. Where does the rest of your $50 million net worth come from?
Yeah,
I'm genuinely asking the question. Like, I don't know. For me, somebody who's not super into politics and doesn't.
I would.
Where does that come from? Endorsement, sponsorship, like
lobbyists.
$50 million, $100 million.
I don't know, man. I think the government's terribly corrupt. So,
dude, it's seriously corrupt. Which means, like, it's interesting that to become the president, like, you have to have done it for, like, you want to do it for certain reasons, and then on top of that, to not take a salary.
Yeah.
Granted, like, when a billionaire, $400,000 is fucking nothing. It's like, all right, I wipe my ass with that, like,
So you know how I just said Nancy Pelosi stock trader? If you just put in Nancy P.E., not even full name. 1, 2, 3, 4. The fifth search is Nancy Pelosi stock trader.
That's funny.
So this is Nancy Pelosi, because this is some wild shit. I saw some things of like all the stocks that she bought at like a really low rate, and then a couple weeks later, boom, exploded. Corrupt. Here we go. Traded. Damn. What is this? Yeah, like what is she? She's what was her position, Nancy Pelosi?
Speaker of the House,
right? All right, so
is that what she was? Speaker of the House?
I mean, just on Nancy Pelosi's trading activity, she purchased anywhere between 1 and 5 million of NVIDIA Corporation.
Oh, NVIDIA. Yeah.
Then she bought Apple anywhere between 250 and 500,000. Microsoft 500,000 to $1 million. Because this stuff is interesting. I wish I did a little more.
Yeah, I just want to genuinely know, like, where does the
interest come from?
Where does the net worth come from? Like, it can't come from your salary because there's no way unless you're investing. Like, and even if you were to invest all of that, if you were to invest all of your $1.6 million, right, your $400,000 a year, if you were to invest it into something a super high return, let's call it a 200% return on your investment. You put in $400,000, you're going to get back an additional $800,000. So 200, so it's going to become 1.2. And then the next year you put in another 400 and it's 1.6, and then you're going to get 200%. You're going to get 3.2 back. Now it's 4, right? Even if you were to do that, you only end up with like, what is that? $15 million? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because you go 400 goes to 1.2. That you add the 400 goes to 1.6. Then you're going to add 3.2 on that. So that goes to 4.8. You add the 400, goes to 5.2. You get 200% on that is like $15 million. Damn. So I'm like, you're putting in your entire salary into a 200% return year after year. That's not happening. So where does your net worth come from?
I mean, at least Nancy Pelosi, she's a genius according to these stats, bro.
She also looks like the Crypt Keeper.
This is top 20 House members purchasing securities in 2020. You know how much securities Nancy Pelosi bought? Over $20 million. Where'd that all that money come from? So this is percent return in 1 year versus returns Pelosi. So Pelosi bought options a little more than. You can read that better than me. What does that graph kind of tell you?
Percent return in 1 year versus returns. Percent return in.
I remember watching or reading something about her stock trading. It was really interesting of like all the timing that she would buy stocks.
Oh, well, it just goes to show, percent return in 1 year. Pelosi stocks, how they outweigh the Dow Jones. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so she made a 70% return on her options, a 45% return on her stocks. The average return was almost 60%.
Sick. Good times.
That's just crazy.
I mean, if you want to know how to make money, just watch.
Oh, and it was. I love how all of it was owned by her spouse. Everything, spouse,
exactly.
So it's never her.
It's never her. Exactly. Yeah, you saw that, right? Yeah. So there's like these accounts saying, "Oh, Nancy Pelosi bought this stock. Buy it now." It's because it's like they know it's gonna fucking just blow up. That's a good way to make money.
Yeah, it's also a good way to go in jail.
Good old Nancy Pelosi
should be in jail. It's insider trading. That's insider trading.
No doubt. Bro.
Should be in prison.
She sucks. Not gonna lie.
All right, let's move on to the next topic.
Let's go on.
Enough. We're beating a dead horse here. Well, speaking of stocks, Abercrombie stock surges 285%.
Yeah, why is that?
What the?
Abercrombie & Fitch stock surged by 285% in 2023, its best performance since 1996 and the best of any company on the S&P in 2023. The clothing line outcompeted numerous powerful players, including NVIDIA, with a 239%, a highly important tech development company.
That's NVIDIA. They do like
NVIDIA.
graphic cards and stuff. They're actually one of our customers. But they're talking about how they had a 34% stock slump in 2022, and then climbed its way back by clearing extra inventory and curtailing its marketing to the tastes of the new youth demographic of Gen Z.
The new youths. Or this one, Google.
So they cater to the trans people.
Dude, no, there's no way. They're less than 1% of the population.
I know. So
makes no sense.
How do you go 285%? That's a Pelosi stock right there.
Got to be involved. What about this? So you know the incognito mode on Google Chrome?
Yeah, it turns out it's bullshit.
Google will settle $5 billion lawsuit for tracking users in incognito mode. Now, why would Google want to track? I guess.
Yeah,
I guarantee you it's because of pedos.
It's all that P-Hub. It's all the P-Hub searches.
Where I'm in trouble.
It's all the P-Hub. That's it, man. You're fucked.
But yeah, I mean, even when I saw that incognito mode, or even like on your phone, you can do private browsing.
Yeah,
I'm like, if they want to find it, they're gonna find it and see what you're doing. So
the only thing that does is it doesn't save it to your history. So your
wife or husband, if you're doing something, they can't see it. But if you're,
I'm like, they always fucking know.
Come on, it's the internet. Everything leaves a trail. You can't trust that. Can't trust that shit, motherfucker.
Yeah, shit. Looking at some other interesting.
What do you got there, kid?
Interesting. Okay.
What?
This came out 6 days ago. It says Canada passes a law.
Oh, I think I saw this.
Requiring tampons in male bathrooms.
Come on,
bro. What the actual fuck?
In male bathrooms, it said.
It says the government of Canada, under the tutelage of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, has passed a law requiring all employers to provide menstrual products or tampons in all federally regulated workplaces.
Why are we living in fantasy land? Like, that is a fact, a biological, scientific, concrete fact. Men cannot menstruate, have babies, whatever you want to frickin' say.
So this is what the Canadian government's website reads.
Oh, God.
Quote, the regulations specify that menstrual products must be in all toilet rooms, regardless of their marked genders. This means that every female identified, male identified, and all gender toilet rooms will need to have menstrual products, end quote. Why the fuck are you putting tampons in a male bathroom? Men do not menstruate. I don't give a shit what you say you are. If you were born a male, you will not menstruate.
But what is that accomplishing?
Dude, it's this
what is this accomplishing?
Dude, it's this mental illness thinking. Like, I don't understand it. If you were born a male, you cannot menstruate. No. I don't care what you do. You can't menstruate. Why are you?
We already know that, right? We already know that.
I know, but
I'm talking about what is the overall goal for that? Like, what are they trying to cater to, in a sense? Okay, you're trying to cater to transgender people. Okay, but regardless, transgender or not, that can't happen. As much as you wanted to believe it, doesn't happen. Can't happen. So why are we perpetuating this fact?
I don't understand. I don't know. That is the $1 million question. Why are we buying into this bullshit?
What is the overall? What is this plan that their government and our government, in a sense too, is trying to achieve? If you want to make it inclusive, it's not even about making it inclusive. It's just about fact and not fact and false. Fact and false?
Fact and fiction.
Fact and fiction. Thank you. What did I say that one time?
Yeah, but no, I agree. I don't. What is that? What are they trying to? I think that it's just for a vote, but that doesn't really hold. Aspect. But it doesn't really hold water though, because like you had said, it's a small portion of the pop. It's what, 1%, 5%. And if you were to get the entire 5% vote, that's not gonna matter.
And this is like, I think, in my opinion, a short-term game, because eventually, say it works. Say the people who this caters to, all the transgender people, they're like, wow, thank God for this person. We're going to vote for him.
Let's see. What do you think the percentage is? Let's look it up. Percentage of adult transgenders in America. Percentage of adult trans.
All right, let's guess. What's the number? What's your guess?
I think it's less than 5%.
I was going to say the same thing, but I'll say 3%.
Okay, so this is, again, take this with a grain of salt. This is UCLA Williams Institute. But it says, data points. Data interactive, executive summary. Okay, so it says, among U.S. adults, about 1.3 million adults identify as transgender, which is 0.5%.
Okay. What is it? 0.5?
0.5% of U.S. adults, so 18 and over.
So we were both wrong. So it's not even a percent.
Well, I said under 5%, but yeah. It's 0.5%. So if you're people like saying it's for a vote, what vote? There is no vote. It's 0.5%. It's not going to do anything.
I honestly said 3%, and even in my head, I'm like, I think that's a little still. I think that.
You know what I'm saying? So like, what are you doing? What is the purpose of this? You're just catering to this mental illness.
But what I was trying to say is it's a short-term game that's going to backfire, because if they're doing it for votes, as most politicians do, eventually the 99.5% of the population, majority of those people are going to have kids already that are getting older, and they're going to get tired of seeing males mainly in their bathroom.
Yeah, I don't agree with that whatsoever. I do not agree with. First off, I don't agree with this whole I'm a man, I'm going to identify as a woman, go in a woman's bathroom. I talked about that on a previous show. That's no.
Listen, if you want to do that,
no, you're not doing that.
If you want to do that at your house, cool. If you want to do that out in public, cool. But just don't push it on anybody else. That's what it comes down to.
No, you can't do that in public. If you're a man, you're not going into a woman's bathroom.
Well,
sorry.
No, I agree. But I'm just saying, if you want to walk around as a woman, by all means, go walk around as a woman.
But, yeah, but you're not. But you're not. You're not a woman. Like you can.
I know they're not women.
I know, but you can dress like a woman. I don't fucking care. But you're not a woman.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're a guy and you want to dress like a woman, by all means, people have been doing it for years.
Yeah, and don't tell me that you're a woman. No, you can't have kids. You can't get pregnant. You're not menstruating. You're not a woman.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're not. You can't breastfeed. You are not a woman, and vice versa.
It's so
a woman
crazy.
wants to dress like a guy. It's called tomboy. It happened. There's millions of them. Girl who wants to dress like a guy, hangs out with a bunch of the guys, plays sports. It's a tomboy.
Ends up being a hot girl later in life.
She's not a man. She's not like, oh, you know what? I like G.I. Joes and football. I guess I'm a man. No, you're just a girl that likes G.I. Joes and football.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having masculine qualities. And if you're a man, there's nothing wrong with having some feminine qualities. Like if you're a guy who likes soap operas or a guy who likes to read romantic novels, like that's more of a feminine quality. But nothing wrong with that. It doesn't make you a woman.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know what I'm saying? Like stop with this bullshit, okay? There's men and women. That's it. There's men and women. You're born a man, just like Mr. Rogers said. If you're born a boy, you stay a boy. If you're born a girl, you stay a girl. Yeah. Boys grow up to be daddies and girls grow up to be mommies. That's how it fucking works. That's it until the end of time.
You know what I blame? I blame it on the moms and dads.
Oh, 100%. The kid wasn't born like this. The mom and dad catered to this.
They're looking for some kind of attention that they haven't got from mom and dad.
100%.
And there's got to be a stat of like how many transgender people come from divorced homes, broken homes, no families. There's got to be a large percentage of that. Fuck it. Since on the topic, let's Google it.
Just, dude, I get like so.
What is the percentage of transgenders that come from broken homes? Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I don't even know if you'll get something like that.
Let's see here.
Just doesn't make sense, man. I just don't get it.
Let's see here.
Canada, you gotta put tampons in male bed. Why? Men don't menstruate. Why do you gotta do that? I understand, like you want to put them in the female bathrooms. Totally get that. You know, it happens sometimes, and you know it comes unexpectedly. You know, a woman like you don't have one. You're like, shit, I need one, and ask one of your friends, hey, listen, you got one? Right? I get it. Totally get it. It's natural. Shit happens, right? Sometimes it surprises you. So if you know that, hey, I can go into any bathroom and there's one available, cool, great. Don't need them in men's bathrooms.
Can't do it.
Why?
Can't do it.
Why do you need them?
Don't do it.
And then especially like if you have like a children's bathroom, what do you need it for? What do you need them for in a freaking preschool? Why would you need them? Pretty soon that's gonna happen. They say, oh well, 6-year-old identifies as a woman. You should probably need a tampon in there because they might menstruate. No, they're not. It's not going to happen.
It's so bizarre, man.
I'm telling you, it's gonna come. That's coming.
0.5 of the population. 0.5.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, I don't get it. It's a twisted way of thinking that makes no sense. There is no science to back it up. I don't know what more I can say with it. I think it's a troubled mind. I think it's troubled minds that are calling for help, calling for attention, and don't know any other way to do it. And they want to. It's like a rebel, right? That they lash out because they're asking for attention. This is what they're doing.
Yeah, I can see that.
And you're a troubled mind, and it comes from. I think it has something to do with the parents too. It's probably some kid, right? Young boy saw his sister playing with Barbie dolls and was like, "Hey, I want to go play with that too." And they're like, "Oh, I guess he's a girl." No,
yeah,
he's a 6-year-old that sees his sister playing with something, and he wants to play with whatever his sister's playing with it, regardless of what it is. It could be a fucking rock for all they care. He wants it because she has it. That's what kids do. My niece and nephew do that all the time.
you could see how people, if they perpetuate that, like if parents would perpetuate that idea, how kids can have minds are malleable, be like, oh, you like it? Let me show you this way. Boop.
100%. That's what they're doing in some of the schools now. They're just grooming the kids, and then the parents playing. I always go back to that Sebastian Maniscalco joke. He goes, if I ever came down dressed as a freaking panda, and I was like, oh, I identify as a panda, my dad would be like, the fuck you do? Go upstairs and put some damn jeans on. I'm not taking a freaking panda to school.
You know what just came out? Another Dave Special came out, and people were backlashing, and he was talking about the transgender people. And he was saying that how he was meeting Jim Carrey for the first time, and he was so excited. And I forgot what character Jim Carrey or what movie he was in. His name was like Andy Wolf or something. And Dave Chappelle was like so excited to meet him. He's a legendary artist, actor, yada yada yada. So he's like, "Oh, Jim Carrey, what's going on?" And people were like, "No, he's Andy. You don't call him Jim. You have to treat him as Andy." And he's like, "What the fuck do you mean? That's Jim." And I guess he was so in his role, he didn't want to like break character, I guess. And he's like, so for all this time, I had to pretend that his name is Andy, and I know this motherfucker's name is Jim Carrey. I know he's. And he goes, and it made me feel very uncomfortable because I felt like I was living a lie. And he's like, that's how transgender people make you feel. And I was like, damn, that's kind of true.
I always loved the one like the LeBron James skit with Dave Chappelle when he's like, say LeBron James identifies as a woman. Does he have to stay in the NBA, or now because he's a woman, does he get to go to the WNBA where he would score 840 points a game?
I could see that, like him retiring this year, right? How old is he? 40 years old or something, right?
Like 38, I think.
So he retires at 38, and he's like, I still love the game of basketball, but these guys are really rough. My body's taking a beating. I'm gonna be a girl and go to the WNBA. I can last another 5, 6, 7, 8 years there, and he would dominate.
Dude, it's actually funny. Somebody had said had asked me the other day about this girl Caitlin Clark. You know this girl Caitlin Clark? This girl Caitlin Clark from Iowa is just phenomenal. Probably like I guess you would say, for lack of a better term, pound for pound, right? Because it's men and women's basketball, and they're not the same, right? But pound for pound, she's like the greatest Division I basketball player of all time. Yeah. Like close, okay? Like she's right up there with Pistol Pete, okay? This girl is just ridiculous. This girl's breaking all the records. She's got like 30-point games or something like that. She just hit the buzzer beater with a 40-point game. Like she's got all-time scoring records. She's got like first player to ever get that X amount of points, rebounds, assists. Like she's just stat machine, okay? This girl's phenomenal. Somebody asked like, "Hey, do you think that she could make it in the NBA? Like, you think like if she was on a team, like she would do well?" I was like, absolutely not. No shot. Not a fucking chance. And they go, "Oh, I think she'd be like a Steph Curry type. Like she could run off a screen and catch." I go, "No. I'd be shocked if she makes 1 point, 1 bucket." Said, and she is phenomenal.
Yeah.
She is the best college basketball player, men or women.
That's
but if you go and put her in the NBA, she would get destroyed.
That's like,
and that is nothing against her and nothing against her ability. And she would probably agree with me. It's just like it's a different game. Like it's not happening.
Yeah, that is like when Serena Williams played a male tennis player, and he was like, I don't know, she was the number 1 in the women's, and he was like the 99th or 100th.
And smoked her,
and she goes on and says, like, if I were to play in a male league, like I would get my ass beat.
There's another one. I think it was the United States, the Olympic soccer team, the women's team.
Yeah, and they played like a 15-year-old.
They played a high school soccer team and lost like 10-0. And it's nothing to do. Like, I want to make this a clear point. It has nothing to do with the skill level. Caitlin Clark is phenomenal. Dude, is ridiculous, her skill level. She makes shots. She makes like Steph Curry shots.
Just different biology.
Dude, the step back that she had against, I think it was Michigan State, the step back she had was fucking pure, dude. Jab step, one dribble to the left, step back from like 40 feet, nothing but net. Just, and the microphone that they had on the net was like
crispy.
Oh, dude, it was beautiful. It was fucking beautiful. Great move.
Crispy,
great move.
Baby, crispy.
But I'm telling you, it's just biological. Like, she's probably not getting that shot off in the NBA. Because granted, I don't know how tall she is. She's probably 5'5". They're going to have some 6'4" guy guarding her that is faster, bigger, stronger. She's not getting that shot off. I'm sorry. It's just that's how it is.
I agree. Can't do it.
Somebody asked, "Do you think she's gonna go?" He goes, "I think she would do pretty well." I go, "Absolutely not. Has no shot. Not a chance in the world."
It just goes back to boys versus girls.
Like look at who is the best center in WNBA?
Lisa Leslie. I don't even know.
I don't even know who the best center is, but they're probably, even if they're like 6'6".
You know what makes me laugh?
Okay, they're probably 6'6", maybe 200 pounds. Imagine them trying to go against fucking Shaq. No, you're not. No,
you go on social media.
You're done.
And it's like they're like screw it, WNBA highlights, and they just do, and it's just like air balls, missed layups, missed dunks, like just it's
and like I said, it has nothing to do with the skill level. It's just the physicality. It's they run faster, they jump higher, they're stronger, they're bigger, they're tall. Like that's just biology.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Just the way it is.
Like I said, I'm not trying to put
No, I'm not trying to put him down, but it just goes again, physicality. She's a better shooter, than me. But if we're going 1-on-1, I can just give you a little fucking shoulder.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like
even you,
like the skill, right? Like
skill is there.
Skill is there, right? Like
mass.
if you put no defender on her and just take up shots, like the skill's there. She's a better shooter. But in the game,
physicality.
You're not getting through those screens the same way.
How do we even get here?
I don't know. You're getting bumped.
At the end of the day, we love women. Women's sports are fantastic. It just can't be compared to men's sports. That's
think about a woman like
being known.
Think about a woman setting a screen. Like you're in the game and you're setting a screen. Now you have to run through a screen. It's a lot different running through. Like let's say you're 5'5", 150 pounds. Okay, let's say the center sets a screen on you, and it's like the biggest girl on the court is going to be 200 pounds. Biggest girl on the court, maybe a 185. Like biggest girl on the court sets a screen on you. You're 155 against 185. That's literally going to be every single screen that you go through is going to be like 215, 220. The center's going to come up, set a screen, and you're 155 hitting a brick fucking wall. Like it is a lot different than going through a screen in women's basketball versus going through a screen on like men's basketball.
100%.
Like it's just different. Just different.
Let's get off this horse.
I know. Well, let's call it a day because it's 40 minutes in and
a little riled up.
Yeah, I didn't really want to get that riled up, but it's just
the way it is.
It's just the way it is, man.
That's just the way it is.
It's just the way it is.
Things will never be the same.
Got that right.
So, thank you everybody, guys and gals, for watching, listening. If you like this episode, if you're watching it on YouTube, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, even share this episode. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, give us a nice thumbs up, a 5-star rating, even maybe throw a little comment in there, show some love for your boys. Become a member, burndownpodcast.com. Check out our merch. And until next time, thank you guys and gals for watching and listening. I'm Eric. That's Justin. Cheers, chin chin, salute. It's bad luck to do it with water, so I'm not doing it. Love you guys. See you later.